Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Offsides, Pete. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Shit, another day, another dollar, man. We're already halfway through the season, right? Because it's 17
Yeah,
season. I mean, 17 weeks. It's week
yeah.
8 going on week 9, so we're already halfway through the season. Um, a lot of stuff going on. Some teams showing up, some teams falling short. What's your takeaway from this past week? The games we saw on Sunday and Monday and Thursday last week.
Um, the Ravens, they continue to like have. I mean, like I still think I don't think they're bad. They're a bad team. I think they're one of the best teams, but they have bad losses to the Browns and to the Raiders at home. So, but when they're rolling, they look unstoppable. But I don't know if it's they play down to their competition because they waxed Buffalo. You know what I mean? They went toe to toe with Kansas City week one. That they're just they got bad losses, but I don't. To me, they're still one of the top teams, top three, if four maybe, but definitely top three teams.
Yeah, I had to agree there, man, because last week me and James was talking about it. And I was saying they're probably the best team in the NFL in the AFC that I see. To me, I know the Chiefs undefeated, but all around package, I give them the heads up. And then they come and do this against the Browns. It's divisional. I get it. I understand. We've seen the Eagles and Giants go at it, plenty of times. But when you got to handle the team you're supposed to handle and win.
Yeah,
The Browns are in turmoil. They just went to Jameis Winston because they just lost Watson, who wasn't really doing much anyway this season. And you got all the issues going on there. They got rid of Amari Cooper. Like you should be able to go in there and handle business with the game that you played, and you didn't. So that's one. Um, 49ers and Cowboys. Um, I don't know, man. 49ers are real suspect. I think if the Cowboys was playing better, they could have probably beat them. And yeah, the 49ers pull out the win, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not the team I thought they were going to be this year. And I know they got a lot of injuries, but this is where Purdy got to make that 60 million. You know what I'm saying? Where he got to be better. And with Kyle Shanahan there, they got to be able to make something happen with what they have already on the field, So uh, um, that's that. One game we was talking about, Pats and Jets. Uh, I said I didn't think they was going to win. You said you thought different.
well, I
Why
said
you thought different?
I wasn't surprised, being that
Oh.
they don't seem like they don't seem like a team. Like they don't. Devontae Adams said something after the first game they played. Brees Hall got a screen, maybe about 50 yards. Didn't score, but it was still a big play. I think it was against the Steelers. And he said, yo, there was no energy, nobody cheering on the bench. And it's like, yo, that's your teammate. He made a big play, and you ain't, no one's excited or pumped for that.
Hmm.
That says, to me, that says a lot. And look, they've been flat. So they got Devontae Adams twice and for 2 games, and they're 0-2.
Yeah.
Like,
I tell you, so for my team, I'm gonna tell you why. I just after that Jags loss, I was kind of upset because I felt they could have beat the Jags. You know what I'm saying? Like in my opinion, I felt our defense could play better. The Jags have been inconsistent this year. It's not the same Jags as before. And we couldn't even put more scores. Like we put 10 up and then we was done the rest of the time. So I kind of felt like if we fell in that same rut against Aaron Rodgers, and let's say by any chance he pulls out a couple of good shots, especially to Adams and stuff like that, and gets the ball more, we might not be able to beat him. But I mean, we ended up beating them. It wasn't by a lot, but we pulled it out. Very proud of it. I ain't gonna lie, I did pick against my team, but that's because I just didn't. We haven't been able to move the ball. Gerard Mayo said we're soft. Belichick didn't really agree with that. He said I had the number one run defense last year, but um, it's just on offense. I don't see us having a playmaker like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that for me to pick them, and let me. So in the Brady era, there was plenty of times we didn't have a superstar wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? When we won Super Bowls, there was no Randy Moss. It was Wes Welker, Chris Hogan, Amendola, Gronkowski, Troy Brown, who else? Dion Branch. Like people that nobody may know of now. You know what I'm saying? and but the chemistry was there. The chemistry, the consistency. Like I felt comfortable knowing, like, all right, we're down 10, 20, we can make it because we got Edelman, we got Amendola, we got James White. You know what I'm saying? We had Danny Woodhead at one point. We didn't win with him, but Burkhead, you know what I'm saying? You had Gronk when he was healthy, or it didn't matter. Our tight ends always play well. So now I don't see that. And maybe it's because we don't have a Brady under center to make it all gel. That leadership is missing, I feel, in our locker room and stuff like that. So that's why I didn't pick them. But I mean, the Jets, they sold. They sold to get they gave Aaron Rodgers too much power. And then they got rid of Salah, which I think was a mistake. Salah was had a better record last season through these eight,
Yep.
9 games than they do this year with Aaron Rodgers. He did it with Zach Wilson. So his defense was performing great during the season. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll take that back. They weren't great, but they weren't horrible. And they could still be in games. Now they're not even, it's all downhill. So in my opinion, they done for the season. I don't see them turning it around. Um, You got Devontae Adams. You have Wilson. You have Lazard as a third. You have two good running backs and Brees Hall, and you have Allen the rookie. Your tight ends are there. Your defense could be probably playing better. You're supposed to have a Hall of Fame quarterback under center. What else you going to give him to be successful to win? You know what I'm saying? You're going to sell the house to get a number one wide receiver to make him a third. You know what I mean? Like that makes no sense. But that was it for me for them games last week, and nothing crazy stood out. Um,
The Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, Washington. I forgot about that. So yeah, what's your take on that?
The you sometimes you overcoach, which is bad coaching, and
Hmm.
coaching matters. But it started for me. It first started when they're trying to get they're on the goal line and they hand it off to a backup lineman and he fumbles the ball. To me, that was stupid. They got the ball back and then they scored. And then they let these guys get before the Hail Mary, they gave him like maybe 15 yards on a completion
Hmm.
to get closer. And it doesn't make any sense. And then the guy who's talking shit to the crowd while they're hiking the ball, he gets there late, doesn't box out the guy who eventually caught the touchdown. All
Hmm.
around bad play, bro. All the way around bad play and bad coaching.
Yeah, I don't think they were prepared for that Hail Mary that they should have been. I was watching the facility. You know, they talk about what you prep on offense, how you supposed to prep on defense. You didn't see any of it. I missed the Hail Mary throw because I wasn't home. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I could watch. I was at Mimi's house, but um, when I saw the replay, I'm gonna give Jaden Daniels credit, bro. Out of all the rookie quarterbacks playing, I think he's probably the best one right now. Um,
Well,
he,
definitely.
he he's playing maturely. He's playing well. He's making decisions. Yo, they don't have the greatest team. And that's what I'm talking about. You don't got to have the best teams. You got to have chemistry and you got to have belief in each other. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that, then how you going to win as a team? Going back to what you said about the Jets, your running back breaks off for 50 yards on a screen and nobody's bigging them up. When you got cats bigging you up because you get the 1 yard to get the first down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, so I don't know, man. I like what I see Washington. They're the number one team in the East now, right?
Yes, they got a game on Philly.
Yep. So a game on Philly. I don't know. I don't know. You know, we all said they were the sleeper one to watch out for them because they were making moves and nobody was talking about them. McLaurin's a dope wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is amazing. Um, and he's consistent. That's one piece they got. And as long as Jaden Daniels keep playing how he's playing, man, I think they'll be okay. Their running backs are okay. The team is playing good. Dan Quinn's good on his defense is straight. You know what I'm saying? So I think they'll be good. Um, so Texans lost Diggs for the season. Do you think they should go out and get another wide receiver?
Um, Possibly they got Nico Collins coming back. He was injured. I think this may be the third or fourth game this week of
Hmm.
IR, but I don't know if he's still going to be I don't know if he's still going to be, healthy yet. It could take longer than the IR stint. Um, I would think so, because they got right now just Tank Dell and the backups and CJ Stroud. He's good, but he also had good he had a number one wide receiver in Collins and Diggs, and he don't have any of them right. They're going this week against the Jets on the road, which which is not probably the best spot for him, being that the Jets they're reeling right now and they need a win. So yeah, that's I would say yes, but they're running out. All the wide receivers are getting traded, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're
Yeah.
gonna be able to. I'm sorry, I don't know if they're gonna be able to pick up anybody that's gonna be able to make that a good contribution. Like DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs, Deontay Johnson just went to the Ravens.
Hmm.
So a lot of those wide receivers that were available, the list has kind of dwindled now. So
Hmm.
they don't got as much to pick from now.
Well, they said the Rams is looking at trading Cooper Cup. Do you want to pay the price to get Cup? You still got Thielen down in the Panthers that could be a good slot guy to get you a few yards here and there. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need a crazy guy because if Collins come back, you have that. Tank Dell's pretty decent there. Titans okay. They still got the run game going for them too. Um,
That's big. Mixon is big, but Cup is, I think, because they won and they got Puka back,
Actually, they say he's
they
off the
may
table now. Yes, yes,
they
they
may
said they're
keep
off the
him.
table.
Yeah, they may keep him
That's right.
now.
Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, I don't know who is available, who else is available because Amari Cooper is another one who got traded. So they're not doing anything. Maybe Slayton from the Giants. They Hopkins already went. This guy got hurt. What's his name? Christian Kirk. He probably was going to
Yeah,
get traded. He got hurt. He's out for the year. Um, Thielen is hurt. Don't know how soon he's coming back. And these
yeah. I
other
don't know
guys, I don't
either.
see them. Yeah, I don't see these other guys getting traded. Like, nah, I think everybody else is pretty much in the mix.
Let me
Nobody from
see.
Tampa because they're in the mix. Chargers
Yeah,
need a wide receiver too.
yeah. Here go June right now, bro. Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking right now to see what's out there. So available wide receiver free agents. Let's see. So you still got Michael Thomas, Corey Davis, Alec Erickson, Lynn Bowden, Randall Cobb, Richie James, Chase Claypool, James Watson,
You talking about free
Jakeem.
agents?
Yo, those are free agents right now, bro. Right now, out there. Traquan Smith, Velus Jones. I don't know any of these dudes. Isaiah McKenzie, I know him from that was the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Um, the Demir Bird. Russell Gage, Snead is out there.
They
I
ain't
don't know about
signing on them
James.
cats, yo. They ain't signing
Yeah,
on them cats.
nah. I mean, you can sign up for $1, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yo, June, we talk about Stephon Diggs out for the year. If the Texans should get a wide receiver, and if so, should they get? What should it take?
No, not at all. I think they got the people in place that they had last year. They're still there, and now it's time for them to do what they did last year without Stephon Diggs. Um, because I don't think that offense has been that explosive. They look very beatable this year. They don't look dominant. They've been winning, but it hasn't been in a dominant fashion. I mean, I think a lot of the credit has to go to the defense. So, and don't get me wrong, the offense does its thing, but the way that I envisioned it with Diggs being out there, I really thought that they were going to be putting up these 37-point games every week. And it seems like they're getting by. They're pulling the Chiefs. They're finding a way to win and getting by, but not in dominant fashion.
Yeah. I think I felt today they should once I saw it, and I see what you're saying, but like we said earlier, Nico's out right now. He's hurt. So you're leaving Tank Dell with the supporting cast. Uh, I believe it doesn't have to be like a DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you'll probably get a Tyler Boyd or somebody that can play a good third or second slot to be consistent, short routes, nothing crazy until you get Collins back and get in the fold. I think so. But I agree with you what you're saying as well. once they get Collins back, then they're the same old team they was last year with the upgrade at running back with Mixon. So,
Mike Williams from the Jets. Mike
yep,
Williams from the Jets.
I'll take Mike Williams. He
Mm.
was great. He was great in the Chargers. I don't know why there's no chemistry there with Rodgers, but that's perhaps when you miss OTAs and you don't really do the training camps and you just want to show up because you're the god of football, Aaron Rodgers, and everything's gonna fall at your feet. Um, so doing real quick, just to give you a chance, Sunday's games, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, anything you want to talk about? We talked about a lot of pretty much of the good games. And covered that. But is there like you want to talk about your team, Phillies, or anything that you saw during the week
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
move on to the next topic?
definitely. Yep, definitely. Well, first and foremost, man, I gotta shout out the Eagles, man. Not just because it's my team and it's always gonna seem biased, but the reason I'm gonna do it is because this is the third week that Jalen Hurts hasn't had a fumble or a turnover. That's 3 games in a row. And we talked about this a lot, and I know Frank talked about it a lot about that being Jalen Hurts' issue coming into the season. Um, so shout out to Jalen Hurts for continuing to get better. Shout out to the Eagles for continuing to get better. I think this is their highest points they scored all season with 37. Um, what's his name? Golly, man, Devontae Smith. I mean, man, I said it before and I say it again. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are two number ones, on the Eagles. And I just like the way they've been playing. So, um, but moving forward, man, to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes down to the East, is the Commanders. These Commanders, man, golly. I thought they were gonna take that L, and I thought we were gonna take the number one seed, and they pulled this off out of nowhere. So shout out to Daniels. That guy is a gem. In my opinion, I think he is playing outstanding football. He's playing like almost veteran type. I think he's outplaying Caleb Williams right now, at being the number one. And and I'm not saying Williams isn't playing great, but they built a whole roster around Williams versus veterans around Daniels, and he is utilizing those to their strengths. So, and shout out to Quinn, man. Quinn had the head coach over there. I mean, he had a rough patch with the Cowboys and the other teams and whatnot, and he is making the best out of everything. So, just to talk about those two teams that to me stood out this weekend. I went to the Jags game, by the way. On Sunday, took the fam out there. It was the first time that the girls got to see a football game. Um, it was super hot, man. It was the 90-degree dry heat, nasty headache. It was the worst. But we stood there. I had to, I don't know what was worse, watching the Jags play or hearing my little one saying, "Oh, I just want to go," because she's seen Jackson, which is the Jaguars' little mascot, fly from the top, on a string, and to her that was it. And the national anthem, yeah, they love that. But man, these Jags, man, they really they played really hard. It was a good game, and if there was one mistake that killed the entire game was Trevor Lawrence throwing that pick on their own, like, I don't know, I think it was like three or four. And that was the biggest mistake of the game right there. Regardless if they came back and tied it up, that was the biggest mistake that he could have done, and it happened in that game. Um, and that's pretty much it that I got. And shout out to Tua Tagovailoa. He came back. It's the first time I got his name right, by the way. He came
Yeah.
back and I know Bree talked about it before. They gave him a standing ovation because he slid the correct way. So, and he didn't get hurt, man. And I think he had a good game. I think he didn't do nothing crazy. So thank God for that. Thank God for Tyreek Hill in my fantasy. I won this past weekend. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got this weekend.
Yeah. So the next thing is the Chiefs. They're undefeated. They find a way to win. They're finding ways to win. Um, June and I talk about this all the time, Pete. So I'm gonna give you the chance to talk on it, and I pass it off to June. Your take on the Chiefs? Are they going undefeated? Do you see them losing? If you do see them losing, who do you think is gonna do it? Like, do you think they can sustain this all the way through the Super Bowl?
Um, Undefeated is tough. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I mean, we already see what happened. We've been down that road before. Um, so I don't know if undefeated is something that's attainable because, any given Sunday, we just spoke about the Ravens losing to the Raiders, losing to the Browns, two teams that, going in, I'm sure everybody thought they were gonna beat. So they got Tampa. Look, they lost in Denver last year. On the road in Denver. They lost in Denver last year. Denver seems like they got a better defense this year. They go to Buffalo. So who knows? They go to Pittsburgh. So it could be any one of those games. And they finish the season in Denver. Who knows if they have everything sold up? They have number one seed and they rest guys. So I don't think, especially because of the extra game, I don't think they have, I don't think it happens undefeated.
Hey, June, what's your take on it, June?
Man, I don't know, man. It's crazy because now they add DeAndre Hopkins into the mix. Um, so it becomes a little bit interesting. I think this was Kelsey's biggest game last week, I think it
Yeah.
was. Right? So if we get that type of Kelsey, I think it will kind of convince me that they could make history. And and we were talking about it the other day. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins, it should make DeAndre Hopkins so much more hungrier, not just to win a Super Bowl with them, but to make history with that. I mean, could you imagine? There would be a first repeat, undefeated, and DeAndre Hopkins, you would get the ring in the process that you don't have. So I don't think they're going to undefeat it to answer the question, but it'll be cool.
Uh, I don't see him going undefeated, right? But that's because I hope they just don't do it. I don't know what DeAndre Hopkins going to look like. I don't know what his stats look like this first game. If he even played, I don't
He
recall.
didn't, he played, he didn't do much. He
Yeah, he
didn't do
didn't do
much.
much. But it's just a matter of time before Andy Reid starts fitting him in places and he starts. Nicky thought DeAndre Hopkins he was done because he's in Tennessee, and I'm like, he's not making no noise. I said it was like Randy Moss on the Raiders, and when we got him, the dude went off for 23, 25 touchdowns. Like the dude was unstoppable. So it's when you go to the right place and you get the right quarterback to give you the ball, and you playing with you like you said something about the Raiders, who they played to the level of the opponents. Sometimes when you're out there, especially as a wide receiver, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I could only do so much because all I gotta do is catch the ball, but the ball gotta get to me. You know what I'm saying? I could run the perfect route, but if that quarterback can't get the ball to me on time, or he don't got the arm to get it, throw it deep downfield, pause, it's gonna be something that I can't do nothing with. So I think with Hopkins being there, it's only a matter of time. Now, I don't want to see him three-peat. I don't. I don't want to see him three-peat. Hell no, no way, no how. However, I also want to see Hopkins get a ring. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I would hate to see him, how you call that, get a three-peat and then this one, but I would love to see Hopkins get the ring. So it's not
Two
if I
catches. I'm sorry, man. Two catches for 29 yards.
that's not bad. That's not
That was
for a
the
first
Kelsey
game.
game. That was the Kelsey
Yeah.
Yeah.
game, though.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the Chiefs I think you know what? Pete, you said something. They go play the Bills. They just found ways to win. Their defense is winning in them games. Mahomes
Yeah.
isn't playing right, and Spagnola's doing a good job. And I think that they have committed to the defense winning the games. I think they're fine with that. And because Mahomes is good with not being the center of attention and just, hey, we're winning, we winning. Doesn't matter. That's why they're going to keep winning. He doesn't
Mm.
care if I get, he threw his first touchdown this last game. A whole month without a touchdown to this last game. He almost went the entire month without throwing a touchdown. And he didn't care. You know why? Because they got the bigger picture in mind, that Lombardi trophy. That's what they care
Mm.
about. So is the defense win it? It could be special teams win it. They don't care. It's like, yo, as long as we win, we win. But I think the Bills could beat them if they can stay consistent. Any team that's gonna beat them can't give them a chance, bro. Like it just can't be. I hate to say it, you got to play perfect, and they could play okay and still win. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I don't know, but let's see. Undefeated, I don't know, but they if Hopkins gives, if they can get 80% of what Hopkins was doing early Texan days, that's a problem, bro. That's a problem. And then they say they get Hollywood back in town, and they already said Pacheco's in the facility, training, practicing, and you take Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. That's like that's bananas, bro. That's like a 1-2
I'll believe
combination.
it. I'll believe it when they go to Buffalo, and then they go to Pittsburgh too. I don't think that's going to be an easy game either.
Nah, Pittsburgh defense is
Mm.
looking great. Russell Wilson is playing great. He's playing good. I saw some of the
Hmm.
throws last night. Russell was looking like Russell yesterday, moving out the pocket, throwing on the run, out, throwing deep. It was like, the only mistake he had was the fumble. And I mean, hell, dude punched it out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He punched him in his face, to be
yeah,
honest
he
with you.
did.
You
He gave him a
seen it. You
concussion.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the most legal punch I've seen like thrown in the NFL.
Yes, he says the most legal punch.
I
Let me
mean,
see
if you
what's
look at it, his face went like this. I mean, he punched him. It was like I said, "Oh my God!" He just punched him.
so Russell. We talked about Russell playing well. I mean, do you think it'll get better between? And they've been trying to get a wide receiver. They've been trying to get another wide receiver.
Mm.
So June, you think Russell's going to get better with time? Do you think it's going to improve, or you think that this as what we're seeing now is what he's going to consistently do the rest of the season?
I think he is, man. I think he's getting what he was missing, which was that type of positive momentum. Um, and I think he had that somewhat in Denver until the media and everybody just rode him and rode him and rode him. Pause. But I think when right now the way I mean he like you said he had two solid games. The numbers look good. I damn near I need to see one more better game in order for me to pick him up on fantasy. Don't get me wrong, I won't pick him up yet. Um, but but yeah, man. Yeah, to answer your question, I think he looked good, man. And I think the best part about it is the relationship that he has with Fields, which isn't a negative one. And it just seems like, hey, coach, put him in there. He can do the rest if it came down to it. That's what I think.
Pete?
Well, Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
look, they're well coached. It's a well coached team, and it shows. The game they lost to the Colts that they could have easily won. So, look, I think a lot of people probably picked them to be last in this division. Joe Burrow was coming back, Lamar and Derrick Henry, and Cleveland. They were supposed to be better than what they are, but Pittsburgh's in first, man. Like
hmm
that's big, man. That's big.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. And I think you said is the biggest thing I think here is well coached. I think the environment matters. You know what I'm saying? When you want to come to work somewhere, it makes a difference when you show up. You know what I mean? Like when I remember being stationed places, I didn't want to be there no more. And I felt like I overstayed and I'm ready to go. And every day getting up, putting that uniform on to go to work was just like, bro. Or when I had a supervisor that I know didn't care, it was a toxic environment. And when I say toxic, I'm not saying like abusive, but just in a sense like you're walking on eggshells, you don't know what to expect.
Mm.
Like if the wrong person is the wrong shit, it just triggers an amount of just chaos because that person didn't like it. You don't want to be around that. Your performance is different. But when you have an environment where it makes it good to be there, whether good or bad, y'all working together and stuff, that's different. I think that's what he got there in the Steelers with Mike Tomlin, bro. And it's funny
So
because
they
I'm go ahead.
so they're on a bye, and
Yeah.
I think we discussed this before. Like the back half of their schedule is tough.
hmm
They play Cleveland twice.
hmm
Cincinnati, who knows? They play Cincinnati and Cleveland twice, but three games in a row. Philly, at Baltimore, Kansas City in a row. And then when they come
Yeah.
back off the bye, they play the Commanders.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll really see. I mean, again, that defense will keep them in games. That no slouch.
The back end of their schedule is the crazy part about it. That's why I was so mad that Russell was hurt and couldn't start early because I felt like if he was able to go, that's when he should have been playing because that back end, and I know the Bengals are struggling. I'm not they're too inconsistent right now, but I'm not going to sleep on Joe Burrow either. You know what I'm saying? I blame that on the team and the coaching not getting that team ready to win more games in the front part of the season. They always start off slow, and it's just right now they can't recoup. Right now they just can't. They can't do what they did the last couple of years to do that comeback after week 3 or 4 and go on a run. You know, it seems like if T Higgins is not there, that offense is different. Uh, I sometimes feel like Joe Burrow plays to the level who he's playing. Because I've seen him go against the Chiefs, lights out. Ravens, lights out. Then goes to certain teams and he loses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell's going on? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if Russell's gonna be the old Russell, but for today, how it stands, I think he looks okay. He looks better than he did in Denver. You know what I'm saying? And he looks more confident, if that makes sense. He looks like he's having fun. He's smiling. He's moving around. It's like Russell from Seattle. That's what I see. Uh,
Sean Payton seems like a dick, so maybe that's what it was too. Like you don't want to have a manager. If you work if you have a job and your manager's a dick, you don't want to go to work. You're not productive, and I think he had that fact the feeling that this dude is looking over his shoulder, looking for any reason to complain about him. And look, he got rid of him. But Sean Payton comes across as a jerk off. So not surprised he's playing well because he got a I would say a better coach that
mhm.
he's playing for now.
Yeah, Sean Payton
And
is an ass.
yeah, and before they benched him, Denver went on this little streak where they were still in contention for the wild card at
Yep, they
one point
were.
last year. So
Yep.
if they would have kept him in the game, I mean, was that what Sean Payton was afraid of? Hey, we're gonna keep him and he's gonna make the wild card. I don't know.
I think Pete said it before. If he would have got injured, they would have to pay him. So they benched him
Mm,
because he was going to get rid of him. So if it was the same, we talked about another quarterback in the league doing that this year. Like if they
Derek
keep him,
Carr. Well,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Last year was Derek Carr. They did that with Derek Carr.
yeah,
Um, Not
yeah.
last year, the year before they did it
The
with
year
the
before,
Ravens. And then this year they should be doing that with Daniel Jones.
yeah. Your team, you know what, man? I I I gotta say that I feel like your team is not really that bad, man. I feel like if I don't know what it is. I don't know if y'all need another weapon on offense. I don't know if but I just feel like when I see them, man, sometimes they got these glimmer of hope, man. Like it's like, passes are being made, good throws downfield, good choices, and then it's like boom.
When
What do you
you're a
think?
bad team, when you're a bad team and you're playing well, if you that one little mistake is magnified. So they lead the league in sacks. And not on the offensive side for once, it's on the defensive side.
Hmm.
Dexter Lawrence leads the league in sacks, and he's the defensive tackle. So they did that part right. They lost the left tackle, so that doesn't help. But it's Daniel Jones, bro. It's Daniel Jones. It's that he seems hesitant. He seems like he's playing not to turn the ball over instead of trying to score. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. Like it's like in baseball, you go up to get a hit. You don't go up with the mentality like I hope I don't strike out.
Yeah.
That's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is worried about shit instead of just playing ball. And
Hmm.
but he's not it. He needs to be on a better team and not a team that's kind of rebuilding and they're expecting a lot from him. He needs to be on a team that the team can kind of like support him because he's not as talented as other guys in the league. But he's
Okay.
not. I think he's a
yeah,
backup, man. I think he's Alex Smith, very much like Alex Smith to me.
I like that. I
yeah.
like that comparison. We
I don't
talked a
know,
little bit
man.
about what's up, Drew?
No, no, I was just gonna say something about the even even like I don't know, man. It's
Yo,
it, but also we have like the coaching in a sense, right? Because you gotta blame the coaching somewhat, right? It's like Frank says, when they do good, the players get all the greatness, and when they do bad, you gotta blame the coaches too. But I mean, there was a point in the game last night when I asked Frank, and I said, Frank, why are they going for two? Like they got a little momentum going. let them kick that field goal, you're only going to be down a touchdown. And that would have gave the offense, in my opinion, hey, we're only down a touchdown. Now you're not putting that pressure to score 6 points plus a 2 point conversion. You already see how tough it was. It took us 3 quarters to get a touchdown. And and I know are you talking about the Freddie Freeman home run?
Yeah.
But
Like, yo, this dude.
he's getting the MVP.
Absolutely. Yo, you took the words, yo, right out of my mouth, bro. Like,
You know, I can
Yeah.
see the glare. I can see the glare on his screen on the back, and I looked at the score on my phone. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
yo,
Um,
it's like the same, it's like the game from yesterday, the same shit. The same shit.
we
In
blew it the
the
first
first inning.
game. That
Yeah.
we blew the first game, and I think if we would have won that first game, could have set the tone very differently. And our coaching, the manager messed that up. And you know what? After that's a wrap. They already knew what they knew what they were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So they can come out and win. Um, we talked about the Jets. I'm not gonna really go into that too much. June, it was when we was recapping, we talked about how they sold and gave Aaron Rodgers everything and is not producing. Um, I don't see their problem stopping. I don't see it changing. I mean, I don't see them going on a run and winning a division and going all the way. Do you see them kind of changing, June, or the trajectory going up, or still going flat?
I think right now they're gonna play the shit out of Aaron Rodgers. Fuck it, let's keep our ticket sales going. And in the process, in the background somewhere, I wouldn't doubt that they're thinking about we got to get ourselves a quarterback because I think it was Nikki that said it. The problem is a lot bigger than the coach. I
Hmm.
don't even think it was the coach. Now they're starting to identify, hey, the problem isn't the coach, man. It's the guy back there, number 12, well, number 8 now, whatever he is.
The Salah wasn't the problem.
Right.
I think Salah's problem was he didn't bring the right OCs in to build a team in the
Mm,
offense side. That's just me. Um, you know, you look at Andy Reid, he got Steve Spagnuolo. Andy Reid's not bringing some bum in to run the defense. He's bringing one of the probably best defensive minds in the game right now. Spags sucked as a head coach, but as a DC, he's winning. You know, he's winning Super Bowls. You look at OCs, defensive coaches that go get the right OC. They're not there to build the offense. That's what that person is there for. Um, that I think, and the Jets are a poorly ran organization. Let's just be honest. I think the last time they were winning and doing anything, Rex Ryan was the head coach, and they had Mark Sanchez, who had the butt fumble. You know what I'm saying? So it's like um, it's bigger than Salah, and the owner played himself. He played himself for, and you got to say this. You got to get his man his props when you say his name, Joe. You're saying it wrong. It's Aaron Rodgers, the god of football, okay, or the god of football, Aaron Rodgers. That's what it says in the AI memes. So, um, he sold out for it, and it is what it is.
right.
Pete, ready? Pete, you told me how you feel about it. You want to say anything else on it,
on what, the
or you good?
Jets?
Yeah, the
On the
Jets.
Jets? It's somebody from the Patriots said that they kind of felt bad for Aaron Rodgers. They were like, yo, he can't move, yo. Like, it's easy to get him. He can't get away. He can't do the shit that he used to do. And that's what it looks like. He's 40 years old. It's not, and then he's coming off a major injury, bro. Like
Hmm.
Achilles is crazy. So
Yeah.
that it's a lot of people kind of expected this because again, 40 years old, coming off a major injury. It's
Right.
not like a pulled hamstring, man. That's some serious rehab he was doing with that Achilles. And look, it shows, man. It shows because even I'm like, damn, he doesn't look the same. Like, yeah, he can throw, but they're also not giving him time. They don't look
Mm-mm.
like they're on the same page. They don't even look like they want to play with each other. So
Yeah, I don't. I think he's done. Man. I told you he was washed, in my opinion. But I got a personal beef with him. Okay, I got a personal beef because I'm a Brady fan, and there was a time where people thought he was better than Brady, and I was like, man, he can't even lift his hand and smack him because his rings are too heavy, and it's just like people kept saying that he was better, and I just don't see it. He's washed, and he's okay. So I'm not going to talk about Richardson getting benched, Flacco in. We'll see how that works. I think Vikings losing to the Lions and the Lions beating them. Let me ask you guys a question. I know June's not going to agree with this because it's the NFC, but I start with Pete first. Do you think the Lions are the best team in the NFC right now?
yes, and I'll tell you why. And it doesn't have anything to do with record. I would put them. So if you ask me to rank, everybody's gonna go Chiefs are number one because they're 7-0. The Lions, to me, their wins have been more impressive. And I talked to you about before June got on. I talked about the Ravens having bad losses. So the Lions, they're impressive. They lost to Tampa. Tampa. This is when Tampa had both their receivers. It's a good game. It wasn't crazy, but everybody else, look what they did to Dallas and Dallas. The Titans came through that. I mean, I know the Titans aren't good, but they put 50 on these guys. So they've been more impressive to me. Seems like they got at every position. They got good depth. They got two of the best running backs, and they run them both. So
Hmm.
just more like that. Their philosophy, their game plan is that they keep both backs fresh, and they got good receivers. And Goff is, you know, how many incompletions is he having in these games? He's not even having five incompletions. It's crazy how he's playing right now. That's why they're talking about him for MVP. So I would say, yeah, Lions, yes, because of how dominant they've been. They got one loss, but even in their wins, they look like they're moving. They're moving, and they play Green Bay this week. So and it's in Green Bay, so this is a test too because Green Bay is not bad and it's in Lambeau. So let's see how they do this week. But for me, I would say right now, yeah, because of how dominant they've been.
June gonna say Eagles, yo. Watch, she gonna say Eagles. Go ahead, June.
No, I would have to edge out I would say, man, I have to agree. Cause it's tough, man. It's tough, man. Because honestly, I was gonna say the Green Bay Packers, man. Um, but I have to edge out. I have to give it to Detroit based on that one loss in the NFC. They're the only team with the one loss, and in the way that the Green Bay Packers are playing, they're playing with they're playing with so much might too, man. That they're finding these ways to win and even without Love in the second half, they still managed to get that W the other day, yes, Sunday. But yeah, I give it two out to Detroit. I think they're doing their thing, and that's that.
It kills him to say that. Look at his face. He's like, I'm gonna have to go pray tonight and wash my mouth on pause because I said this show. All right,
They
look,
got a
so
tough schedule though. They got a tough schedule coming up at the end of the year. They play, their whole division is about 500. They play Buffalo and they go to San Francisco. So they got a tough schedule coming up.
yeah, I think they're the best team. I do. They're 6-1. Like you said, it's how they're winning. They're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and they handle the teams that they should struggle against. And that's what you want to see. That team is rallying around him. I think it's James says it all the time that the momentum from last season, the coach admitting we could have did things different, the quarterback being consistent and constantly being talked about like he's not a good quarterback. Like he never went to a Super Bowl. Um, and in my opinion, they lost that Super Bowl because the coaching didn't adjust. You know, if McVay would have been instead of McVay being so in awe about Belichick being in front of him and focus on the fact that they're the Patriots and they can get beat, they probably would have won that game, but he didn't. So I think the Lions are the ones that are on top there. And you know what? You brought up a good point. They could probably be the best team on both sides if you think about it. With the matchup, I like the Gibbs and Montgomery how they run them both. They both get points on fantasy. It's not like
Yep.
lopsided. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Gibbs gets you the
Hmm.
point because you'll get that 180-yard run for a touchdown, and that's it. You got all you need. And he's a pass catching back. But Montgomery gets you all them other points from running the ball. All right, so coming up, man, week 9, we have Texans at Jets on Thursday. I have nothing big there to talk about. They got the Jets favored by 2 points at home in in Jersey. I don't know. I think the Texans could pull that out. What you guys think?
I don't know. Look, they down to Tank Dell. I don't know. But unless they run Mixon into the ground. Unless
Yeah.
they run Mixon into the ground, that's the only way I could see. Um, yeah, I would. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets won.
Right.
Mm. That'd be tough, man. If they win, it'd be like, fuck, bro. If I was the Texans,
Well,
shit, I would cry.
I,
June?
I tell you what, Pete, if you want to go, I'm gonna do you a solid, bro. I'll buy your ticket because they're as low as $15. So I will buy your ticket if you want to go,
Yo,
so you
getting
can give
out
us
to
a good cut.
Jersey the toll coming back from Jersey is more than the ticket.
Yup.
The
Then
toll is
that's
$18. Yo, I kid
Yeah.
you not. I
that's
kid you not, bro.
crazy.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that you
That's
said that because I'm
crazy.
like, because I'm always bitching about the tolls, but the toll is more than what you said the ticket is right now, yo.
Mm-hmm. That's
Wow.
right.
Wow.
That's right. Uh, so June, what you got, man? What you think about that game?
I mean, looking at the Texans, they're 2-2 on away games, so it's a 50-50 when they're playing it, and you don't know what Jets we're gonna have. Are they gonna say, you know what? I mean, because yeah, offensively, if you look at the numbers, Garrett Wilson had over 110 yards and a touchdown. Um, Devontae Adams did okay. The only thing that I didn't see was the running. I didn't think the running was like crazy, crazy.
Nah,
Um,
wasn't good.
right, and I think that's what might have lost them the game was probably the run game. I don't know if they went away from it or not, but yeah, I don't know. You know what? I give it to the Jets this week. I think they'll balance out and win.
And
All
and the
right.
Texans, short week on the road, the Jets gotta have some type of advantage. If they don't, then they really are that as bad as they look.
It
Right.
might be cold too. It might be a little chilly. Texans, they play
Actually, no.
inside. Oh,
Actually,
no?
actually, no. It's gonna be warm up here.
Oh.
That's Halloween. It's gonna be warm this week, end of the week. So
Mm, mm,
that's not in
mm.
their favor.
All right. 1 o'clock games. I don't really see something crazy unless you guys looked at it. I mean, you got Bills, the Dolphins at Bills. I'm not really
No.
on that. Broncos and Ravens. That might be a good one. Broncos and Ravens. Bo Nix is playing okay. They in Baltimore. Both teams are 5-3. But Baltimore's favored by 9.5 points going into that. Let's see what other 1 o'clock games. Commanders at Giants, divisional game, and Cowboys at Falcons. Kirk Cousins is throwing for like 6 tutties every game. He's reciting future raps in the huddle.
That
Falcons
dude's
are gonna,
crazy as fuck for that, man.
yo. That's why they love him, bro. That's why they love him. They love him because he knows how to adapt to where he's at, bro. Like the dude's
Right.
amazing. I like him.
Little
4 o'clock
Kirko.
games. So the 4 o'clock games I think is interesting. You got Bears at Cardinals. I think
That
that could
one
be a
was
good
trying to,
game.
yeah.
You got Jaguars or Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Jaguars, you don't know who you're gonna get. So this should be a good like tune-up fight for the Eagles. Then you got Lions at Packers, 6-1, 6-2.
That's the game of the week right there for me.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you got Rams at Seahawks. But bro, the Rams look unstoppable with Cup and Puka out there, bro. Like this is a
Yeah.
different team. Um, that's it. I mean, the Monday night game is Chiefs versus Bucks at Chiefs, and then Sunday night is Colts at Vikings. I'm not too impressed about it. Um, so I think Packers and Lions is the game of the week. That's what we're going with. Packers and
I
Lions game
think
of the
so,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch that. I'll be back from Tampa that day on Saturday night. I'll be in Tampa though Thursday. I might not watch Thursday night game, but I might be busy. So yeah, guys,
I got a
that's
question for you guys.
all right. What's up?
So I'm gonna name five teams really quick, right? And I want you to tell me individual, well, you guys, which team you think is gonna go far and which team you think is gonna bomb. And not necessarily bomb, but not live up to the hype. So all these teams are 6-2. The Bills, the Steelers, the Commanders, the Texans, and the Packers. So Bills, Steelers, Commanders, Texans, and Packers. Out of those five teams, which team do you think is gonna go pretty far, and which team you think that 6-2 is just a fluke? Go ahead, Pete. Put you on the spot.
So the one that has who's looked the best out of the 6-2 teams. So let me just see this again. So you said So the Commanders look good. Green Bay, I'm worried about Jordan Love. He's hurt again somewhat. So I'm not, I don't, I'm that kind of concerns me. But to me, it's the Texans would be the one, not a fluke, but I don't know if they'll sustain it because they got a lot of injuries at wide receiver. This game I'm not sure because they again it's a short week and they just lost Diggs. They don't have Collins back, so interesting to see what they do then. But for the one as far as not living up to the hype of being one of the 6-2 teams, for me it's Houston, the best team out of the 6-2 teams. It's I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
All right. He
Oh,
took one of my teams. He took one of my teams. I was going Buffalo too. I think Buffalo's going to go long further. They got Amari Cooper. I think since Amari Cooper's arrival, you see Keon Coleman's game go up. A lot of people could say, well, it's week 8, week 7, so he's playbook, he's getting a hold of it. I think having a true wide receiver one with experience out there makes the defense have to prepare. Double teaming him allows other receivers to get open and run their routes. So I see the Bills only improving with Cooper there and moving forward. I would go with the Steelers as far as the not a fluke, but I feel the teams they beat early is teams that probably are not doing nothing. And when they get to that second half of that schedule, you're going to have everything's about momentum and where we at in the season. We talked about opening the podcast was it's already halfway through the season. We're halfway through. This week is you could say it's the halfway mark because it's 17 weeks. And some of these teams are starting to pick up their rhythm. And we already seen a division round with the Browns beat the Ravens. So when they go into that back half, who's not to say that the Bengals don't get better and at least make a push to try to have a winning season? You know what I'm saying? The Browns, what if behind Jameis they can rally and win one of those games? I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers going far. If those teams that they're playing, they're playing the Eagles, they're gonna play the Chiefs. You know, what if the defense don't hold up? They have a bad game. Last
mm.
night, the Giants, if they would have just put touchdowns up, they could have won that game. They were moving the ball on the Steelers defense. Your boy, what's your running back's name?
Tyrone
Yeah,
Tracy.
yeah.
Mm.
Tracy was running the ball, bro. He's not even a big back. He was gutting them. And like I said, Jones was making good passes. It just they couldn't score. If they get in the end zone, it's a different game. And then I've said this in the past when the Jags beat the Patriots. We were watching the game, and I said, we messed up by letting them start scoring. They're playing comfortable. There's no pressure on him. When you put pressure on these quarterbacks to go win, and some of them already been struggling, what you're gonna get? You make mistakes. So I think the Steelers are the one that are not a fluke necessarily, but not the strongest. They're probably the weakest one. The record doesn't say that, but I just don't have that much confidence in their offense right now. And I think the one moving furthest is the Bills because of Josh Allen, Mari Cooper, them receivers, the defense look like it's doing okay, and they're getting their running back. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward. What's
Yeah,
yours?
no, hey, I agree with the Bills. I think I'm on agreement with the Bills. And and I think the team that is going to come up a little bit shorter than everybody else's is going to be the Texans. 'Cause I do believe that the Steelers are going to continue to find ways to win, and not just because of the quarterback, but because of the running back. Najee Harris has been running like he's lost his mind the last few games, and
Yep.
that's what he's been missing in the last year or so. So because of that reason, I didn't pick the Steelers, and because of the Texans, especially Diggs being out, like you said, Collins is out. I think they may make a run, but for the fact, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, they look very beatable, and they haven't been winning. Um, in stunning fashion. I think I think they'll come up a little bit short this year as a 6-2 team.
Fair. I like that. I like that. Najee did jump over that dude. Yo, Pete, did they really bench that dude because that rookie because he got hurdled?
I don't know if it was because of that. I mean, last week against the Eagles, like Jalen Hurts had a run and he could have made a. I'm not saying he would have stopped him, but he kind of just let Jalen go past him, and he went out of bounds. And it's been the second time in a week. It's more about his lack of effort that they're trying to um, put some scare him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of get him to wake up because he's good, but the last couple of weeks he hasn't been showing the effort, and he's been called out on it a couple times. No, actually, it started against the Cowboys. So, but then the next week he played really good against DK Metcalf, but it's like he's on and off. So I don't know if it was because of that, but it's more because of his effort.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Well, look, man. Good week, good episode, good topics. I guess we'll be back on next week, same time, same bat channel, right?
Sure.
Discussing it. Hopefully, we get some news to talk about this week. The trade deadline is the 5th. So by the time we record, the trade deadline should have passed already.
Definitely.
Should have passed. We should have a new president elected too by that time. So a lot of interesting things going to happen between now and the next time we actually sit down and record. So stay tuned. Um, Join us, share, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, and follow us. And until next week, man, this Offsides Podcast. Peace.
Peace.